Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another edition of the Focus program. I am your host, Pastor D.W. Tolbert, pastor of the New Hope Baptist Church here in the great city of Muskegon, Michigan, USA. We're so glad that you have joined us once again for another great show. And I'm so glad you're here with us because we have some great friends who have come again to share with us on some exciting things that are happening in the Muskegon Heights Alumni Association. I have with me today Brother Joseph Warren and Brother James Burton. They are the president and vice president of the Muskegon Heights Alumni Association here in Muskegon Heights, Michigan. And they were with us once before, and now they're back again to talk about another event that is coming up with this great organization that is moving and shaking things up in our community and has been for many years. On the calendar that's coming up shortly is the 11th Annual Hall of Fame Dinner that is presented by the Muskegon Heights Alumni Association. And President Joseph Warren is here, and Vice President James Burton are here to talk to us about this great event, the 11th one that they've put on, and they're getting ready and planning to do it again this year, and so they're excited about it, and we are too. Thank you all very much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Taking the time to share with us on our program today. God bless you. Well, tell us a little bit of the history behind the Hall of Fame dinner, and give us a little update on how things came about.
The history started. We was going to do a breakfast. Myself, Efrita Day, which is Efrita Jenkins Day.
Okay.
Al Nichols.
Yeah.
And we took it from the breakfast to try to do a Hall of Fame. We thought about what's high school around this community that do a Hall of Fame inductee. Mm-hmm. Then we looked at all of the great athletes that came out of Muskegon Heights, and we looked at Muskegon County Hall of Fame and how they kind of like took such a long time to induct the graduates and the athletes from Muskegon Heights.
Okay.
So we started to look at that, and then we put that in place to do our own Hall of Fame inductee. So that's how I got started. So after that, then myself and Frida, we went to Dr. Dana Bryant, the superintendent of schools at the time. He gave us the okay to proceed with it. And so from there, we went from there to where we're at today.
Oh, well, good. And it's come a long, as they say, come a long way, baby.
Right.
That's good. You all have been working at it really, really hard and really, really good. And so we're glad to know about that. Now, tell us, when is it going to happen again? What's the dates?
We're looking at Saturday, May 18th, 2019, at Central Assembly Church.
Okay.
Which will be, the social hour starts at 5 o'clock to 6, and the dinner will be served from 6 to 7 p.m.
Okay.
And the ticket prices are $30, and the deadline for ticket sales is going to be May 9th. So anyone wishing to attend, and we like to have the community come out and support us on this because it's our normal scholarship fundraiser for the Muskegon Heights Public School District. You know. And, as we've done in the past, we've contributed numerous amounts of scholarships and in-kind gifts to the students of the district. You know? So this is our continuing effort here annually here.
Okay.
You know, I've been a part of this since 2008-9 or so. You know, so man, like I say, this has been a wonderful venture. As a nonprofit, to be able to give back to the kids of the community. You know.
Right. Well, you've been a part of it almost for the whole 11 years.
Well, not as long as Brother Warren here.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to add some more to that. Okay. You know, when we first started, we just started with athletes.
Okay. All right.
And when one of the ministers of the community said, Joe, you know, he came there and he told me, man, that's all you guys think about is sports. So myself and Carl Sones, when Coach Lee Gilbert was being inducted into the Michigan State Hall of Fame for coaches, we went down there and we decided, okay, well, we saw how they did their academics. So then we added academics into Muskegon Heights. Again, we had a lot of graduates from Muskegon Heights, not just sports, that went on and do great things in academics. So then we added that. then 3 years ago, like I was telling you, then we added our Music Hall of Fame. Muskegon Heights had one of the best marching bands that I've ever seen. I mean, they could compete with probably any college that you wanted to put them up against back in, a few years ago. So then we added the Music Hall of Fame, and as you see, Floyd Cook is going to be our honoree for music this year.
Right.
Well, Floyd was the first African American drum major. I think it was back in 1958 or 59.
Okay.
From Muskegon Heights.
Okay.
So we have added as the Hall of Fame has been going on. We continue to try to add to show more people that we appreciate the things that they have done over the years for Muskegon Heights. To keep Muskegon Heights try to show the younger generation the great things and the great people that came out of Muskegon Heights.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's the diversity of the honorees, and the thing about it is it takes people from all spectrums and decades of the graduates to be able to put those ideas on the table.
Right,
So, because, if you're part of the class of 1970, you probably only go back 10 years to remember who came before you. So, but it's always nice to have folks that come from all different areas of graduates to be able to include someone we may not be aware of, because during our time, we would never know who they were and all the accomplishments. And if the records aren't present at the school, and because the old school building was torn down, a lot of the old records got lost or destroyed in the process when they built the new school building.
Right.
So, I mean, we have an alumni room at the school, and we have retained quite a few artifacts from the old public school building,
Okay.
I mean, we even have, you got awards that go back to 1922,
Wow.
so from the original classes of the old public school building,
Okay.
And so the thing is that, but we still need the individuals in the community that are aware of folks that we would like to honor, because, I mean, you don't have a small group of folks around the table, but it takes some more folks come to the table to bring up the names of those who they think should be recognized.
Right.
You can't get everybody all in once.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
But I think that there's enough quality and quantity of graduates from Muskegon Heights public school system that we should be able to carry on this tradition for quite some time.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah,
I would definitely think so. Now, you mentioned Brother Floyd Cook. Do the other inductees know that they're? Because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
No. We send the letters out somewhere around
They're notified.
somewhere around December of the year prior.
All right.
Between December and January, to let them know that they have been chosen or selected. And prior, from like September every year, that's when we start our nomination. Nominations. So from September to December, then we start our nominations. I think we have then we do our selection toward the end of December to see which ones will be selected. And then we'll send the letters out to the ones that's chosen.
Oh, this is good.
Because we have them coming from everywhere. You have people coming from Texas, Florida, California, Arizona, to be inducted.
They need to get their calendars right.
Exactly.
I mean, you need to give them enough notice or something like that too. And you try to get it out early in the fall if possible. You know what I mean, for folks who plan their calendar, because this is an early spring event. In May, so you want to give them some time, at least 6 months notification prior to.
I'm sure they're spread literally all over the country.
Yeah, they're all over the country,
and that's amazing that you can even track them down.
Well, if you look, we got one of our sports Hall of Fame this year is the 1968 girls volleyball team, and we are inducting them as well. And one of the things we're trying to do is find a coach. From 1968. So we're still on the hunt.
Well, good.
Well, that could be an appeal to the community. Then we're looking for Miss Cobb. Anybody know her whereabouts? Maybe.
Miss Cobb, are you out there? Call me.
Get in touch with the Alumni Association.
All right.
It would be a great honor, if we could get a hold of her.
Absolutely.
Or a representative from the family. You know what I mean? That's even better.
Right.
I don't want to speak of anyone's demise, but it's been some time since 1968, so she was a coach then. But we still like to have a representative from the family if she's not available herself.
Absolutely. That would be wonderful.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. So that's good. That's absolutely good. And I'm partial to pastors. So I see you have Pastor Kai Guy on the list.
Correct.
Amen. So
Community service.
shout out there. So that's good. That's really
And I
really
just,
good.
again, with Pastor Guy, a lot of people, sometimes, because I didn't know all of the things that he does in the community. One of our board members is the one who nominated him.
Oh, okay.
And which is Nitra Hood.
Okay.
And she's a classmate of his. I see some of the things that he do, but when you look at the things that Pastor Guy do when it comes to feeding the community, like Thanksgiving, a lot of times you ride past his church, he had these big trucks out in there where he's feeding, giving food.
Right.
And that's a good thing. And today when you got pastors out trying to make sure that people don't go hungry. And so, I would like to thank him myself.
Yeah,
for the things,
well, that's awesome.
The things he do out in our community.
Yes, indeed. We do appreciate that. That is definitely a wonderful contribution. Now, I also want to emphasize, and you may want to talk about this as well, you have an awesome turnout for your banquet, the dinner and everything, in excess of 300 people. And it's quite a fundraiser, and some of the things, you have a whole list of things that you do with your proceeds, that you take that money and plow it right back into the community, which I think is commendable.
And what you have is just a partial summary, because we actually have about 3 or 4 more summary pages of the donations that we've given back to the community in regards to the funds we raised. And primarily these funds have come from the dinner itself, and also from the operations of the school concession stands during the football and basketball season.
All right.
So you're selling a lot of hot dogs and Gatorade to actually raise these funds, But just as a brief summary of some of that stuff, we purchased several times girls' basketball uniforms for a total of $1,170. Championship banner signs for street signs for the community. We posted in the community. That was roughly about $488, a little under $500 for that.
Okay.
And one that really has been important is from kindergarten through 6th grade. You show that we sponsored a coat drive, which raised about $1,500, putting coats, and that goes outside of the normal avenue of what we really do in regards to honoring the athletes and academics. And we've done everything, even contributing towards the burial of students also, that have passed on,
Okay.
It's just a multitude of things that we end up contributing to, Sponsoring the youth basketball program in the community, that was about $4,800. Edgewood field trip, an end of the year field trip for the kids, that's $300. Sponsoring the boys basketball team charter bus down to the Benton Harbor tournament, that was $860.
Okay.
And we even donated to the athletic department to repair the gym floor, that's roughly $1,500. And then primarily, though, you see where we've given the laptops and computers and book scholarships to graduating seniors. That's over $3,500 right there in that category. And we have several other summary sheets that will provide even more in that avenue where we can actually total it up. I would dare say over the years, this will be well over $20,000 plowed back into the community.
Right.
Well, it's since I was president, we as the board of directors, we've raised over $60,000 just in scholarship funds.
Wow.
And so, we try to show people where their dollars go. So, and if anybody want to see our books, they're more than welcome. It's just that we take 100% of our proceeds and try to put it back. We try to make sure that when we start up at the end of the year, we end in August. We start back in September. That's what we call our end of our fiscal year.
Right.
So when we end that year, we try to basically just have enough funds in our account just to get started. So we wanted to make sure that our kids can have what they deserve to be educated.
Right.
And also to when they go out to play sports, that they look presentable and they act presentable to represent Muskegon Heights.
That's good. You know, you said something I think is very noteworthy. I think it needs to be re-emphasized. And you said you start the year, your fiscal year, with almost no funds.
Yeah.
You make sure that you use those funds up for that fiscal year and put those back into the community, and then start over again and build that up, and then
Pour it right back.
pour that right back. You're not building a big giant fund up, but you're constantly turning money over and putting it back into the community. I think that's great. I think that's good.
As a nonprofit, you know, it's a volunteer organization. There are no paid staff positions.
Okay.
Chairman Warren might get recompensated for gas every once in a while, but he does do a lot of running around in that regard.
Right,
you know, but outside of that, there's no disbursement or reimbursement for anything. You know, everything is done according to the books. You know, Dorothy Gill Jackson is our financial secretary. She does an excellent job. She's also a former teacher in the Muskegon High School District in accounting. So, you know, so that's been a blessing for us also.
Yeah.
You know, so it's good to have a volunteer organization that can raise that money and actually put it right back up in the community. And then when we start our new fiscal year, by the community continue to invest in us, we're still able to do, you know. Most of the times when you call yourself zeroing out the books, you don't know what's going to happen. It's season to season as to what it's going to be, you know. And it really makes it kind of hard to plan because you just don't know where your fundraising efforts are going to go, you know. And you're fully aware how that works there when it comes to budgetary concerns too. So, but, you know, things have been good. You know, things have been good. Everything's worked out, and the participation and the support from the community has just been excellent. So we want to make sure we try to continue that as much as possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
One of the things that's not on there is like I was saying earlier, some things you have to be more proud of is that we have paid for housing for some of the students when they was homeless. We have paid for their housing so that they would have a roof over their head and be able to come and go back to school the next day without having to stay outside or whatever. So we let's try to do wherever we can fill the void.
Right. And I appreciate that. You know, you know, we as the church, you know, we're in that business too, and we try to do those things. And you know, more of us working at that, the better it is. You know, and you're trying to step into the lives of the community and directly affect the lives, particularly the children that are going to school. You know, it's hard to study if they got an empty stomach.
You got to give them hope.
That
growl will drown out the noise of anything.
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely. You know, if they don't have a coat, you know, and you know, just the bare essentials. A lot of things that we take for granted. You know, a lot of people
concern on their minds.
It
takes the focus away from the
focus away from the education process, and so you try to step in and fill that gap, and that's commendable. That's good. So you know, you're trying to cover all the bases.
And that's what community is all about.
Right,
you know? That's what community is all about. And you know, we know that as fundraising is a tough effort all over for everybody in that regard. And I just see in a bigger picture that it should be probably a lot more collaboration with different groups, because we could be duplicating some things. Well, maybe I can take my $2 over here and deal with this particular issue, and you can take your $5 and deal with that other issue over there. You know what I mean? But we get everything covered that way if we all spread it around and join together. So, you know, and I think primarily that's what got to happen in a lot of the small communities like this when it comes to the fundraising efforts like that too. So we are all you know, working together. You know, we can get the job done. We can get the job done. Ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah, because it's up to the community to take care of the community. After all is said and done.
After all is said and done. And you can't be looking for a gift from somewhere, because there ain't no gifts coming.
That's right.
We can pray, but then we got to put the work in.
That's right. After you pray, after you get up off your knees, man, you got to go to work.
You got to go to work. You got to go to work.
That's
all right, Lord, go ahead and guide me as I go down this road.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I was looking at your board of directors. You have a list of some very impressive people.
Thank you.
And I know you all work very well together, and I'm sure they just all do a very, very great job. But some of these names I recognize, and you got some really good people working on the board of directors here. So I know you're very proud of them.
Right. Yeah.
And you've been the president how long?
About 7 years.
7 years. All right.
This is my last year.
Is it now?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you served out your time, and you're going to.
No, we can run, and as long as you want to. I mean, it depends on if you can win the election.
Okay.
And you want to rerun, keep running. Mm-hmm. I'm just choosing not to run again.
Okay.
I've been thinking about it for probably like the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. I want to put more emphasis on my own grandkids and start working with some of my nieces and nephews about, getting their lives in order.
Okay.
And I just think that it's time.
Okay.
After doing this for like 40 years now.
Oh, wow. You've been in it 40 years.
Exactly.
Is that right?
And so I just think it's time for me to move on and put a little bit more emphasis on my own family. I took a lot of time doing this for my own kids. I took funding from my kids to give to other people's kids. And sometimes you feel like, did you neglect yours to do for somebody else's? But I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I had a decent job. So I was still able to do both. But now I have grandkids now. So I just want to try to put more emphasis on them.
Good. Well, that's good. Well, that's wonderful. Hey, how long have you been vice president, Brother Burton?
It will be about 6 years now.
Oh, okay. So you all kind of started about at the same time. Huh?
He brought me into it, Then, I think it was a plan when he brought me on, to transition me in there. So, but it's been good though. I enjoy volunteer work because even before I joined the Alumni Association, matter of fact, I'm a part of 3 or 4 different other nonprofits, the Muskegon Heights Optimist Club and several others, So it all works the same though. When you find out the work that I do with this organization mirrors what I do with the Muskegon Heights Optimist Club. Too,
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And we're in the same community helping the same kids.
Uh-huh.
So I'm on 2 different boards in the one community helping kids. You know what I mean? That's what our organization does.
Right.
But it helps in a sense that, if an issue comes up for us, I may have already been doing it with the other group. So I say, hey, I can cut to the chase on that one because we've already dealt with that with the work that I'm doing with this other group. You know what I mean? So that helps out.
Yeah,
so
sure.
It's with a small community, you have certain people that are into being committed to doing that work. So you find out that they sit on several other different organizational boards. So. It's only a few of us, and we're just kind of spread out here, wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
That's what you end up doing. You're wearing a lot of hats.
Absolutely.
And the thing about this is that with the volunteerism, we got to start getting our youth involved with that at an early age to replace us before we decide to transition out.
Right.
He's saying he's stepping down, well, we should be having someone coming up also.
Right.
We got to start getting these juniors in there, you know what I mean? Junior board members and things of that nature to start, so they can understand what the leadership aspect is about. So then they won't have such a fear of it because it's hard to bring people on board and then you throw them into a leadership spot when they're not accustomed with how things run or how it goes, you know?
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that you may have leadership qualities in you, but you just got to be in a position to have them brought out. You never know. And you can't put yourself down because you've never done it. That's no reason not to be part of something because you've never done it before. You know, if you become part of some organization, you're going to take the fear out. Just come in and serve. If you come in and serve, you'll find out how much of a leader you really are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everybody's always got critiques for you when they start serving around you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, okay, well, now here, let's let you take the hat for a moment and see what you can do with it.
That's right.
So that's what makes it up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to kind of like acknowledge some of the honorees.
Okay, certainly. Certainly.
Try to induct, which I Hall of Honor, which is Carla Laws, which was a principal at the Muskegon Heights High School at one time. And, Carla, I think Muskegon Heights moved her too fast. When I mean they removed her out. I think Muskegon Heights would have been a lot further ahead if they had left her at that principal position at the high school.
Yeah.
Tanika Harris, which is another one. Shanika Carter and who was the other? Dwayne Deedy. Dr. Dwayne Deedy. He's a neurosurgeon, and which our sports Hall of Fame would be Tony Davis, the class of 1968 girls volleyball team, Tom Johnson, which Yoni played on 1971 basketball team, and Terrence Daniels, which is a professional boxer. Okay. He also now is a drug narcotics police officer down in Texas. Oh. So then we have Floyd Cook, which is our Music Hall of Fame award. So, you know, Pastor Kai Guy. And so, you know, we induct a lot of different people.
Yes, yes, I see that. I see that. And that's really, really
Kaylee
good.
Cook is our coach of the year. She coaches our girls middle school basketball team.
Okay.
And that was another one that we just started a few years ago to show the coaches, because, you know, I coached 26 years, so coaching ain't as easy as people think it is.
Yeah, I tell you.
You know, when you got people from the stands hollering at you, calling you whatever they want to call you.
Yeah.
So, you know, and she started young, so hopefully she can move on and, and do great things.
Good.
But the key honoree is Dr. Pam Smith.
Right.
She's
Okay.
pretty much a well-kept secret in our community. And, excuse me, it's going to be a wonderful, neat evening for the people that are in attendance, where they can hear what she talk about her career and where she's been and how she got to be where she at, and you know, and as she's went on in life and what she's giving back to the community. She's a silent benefactor for the Muskegon Heights community. And she comes from a distinguished family, the Smith family of Muskegon Heights. So, and she's phenomenal.
All right.
She's very phenomenal.
Well, great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're all out of time, but I wanted to wrap up and let our viewing audience know, again, you can get tickets. They're $30, and tickets must be purchased before May 9th. 2019, before May 9th, and you can call Joe Warren at 231-557-2516. You cannot get tickets at the door. You must get them in advance before May 9th. And this event is happening on May 18th, the 11th Annual Hall of Fame Dinner, sponsored by the Muskegon Heights Alumni Association at Central Assemblies Church, just off of Apple Avenue here in Muskegon. Thank you again, brothers. Appreciate you so much for taking
having us once again.
Yes, indeed. My pleasure. And we thank our viewing audience. Thank you so much for joining us. And as we prepare to leave, always remember and never forget, when you get with Jesus, you're going up. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.